am a Pete Primeau fan.
Thank you for having me.
Your fans are like...
What an honor to be here, Pete. You're a legend. You're a rock star.
I'm a legend in my own mind, said my wife.
If I can do it, anybody can do it.
I'm Mr. Selling from the Heart. What's this guy, Larry Levine, going to teach me about selling from the heart?
You are one of the most generous and authentic people around, and I think that's why you and your show are so attractive to people.
Welcome to the Pete Primeau Show. It is episode 223. My Lord, how did we get here? I guess 222 episodes ago, right? We are here with Greg Law and the Dream Team, creating your dream team. But first, we're going to pay the bills. If you have not already bought this book, Sell a Million, what are you waiting for? 101 tips on how to get more people in your store and make more profit in any retail establishment, but especially mattress and furniture stores. It's on Amazon. I think it's under $15. It's just ridiculous. And if you want a sales book, I got a sales book for you, but it's not my sales book. It's a sales book that I am listed as the author, but I had 10 other great authors that helped me write this book. Jeff Janakovo, Scott Vaughn, Brent Batterman, Chris Tahaney, you name it, they were in there. We had some amazing people, and the compliments that I'm getting from this book are off the hook. So if you want to sell more mattresses this year, that's the book that you should pick up. It's under $20. It's on Amazon right now. And thank you, everybody, for your kindness. And I'd like to thank the sponsor of our show, at least one of the sponsors of our show, the Mattress Industry Network Group. It's a great group. I believe over 2,400 people in this group. If you want to learn how to buy, sell, and market and network, this is the group for you. Whether you are working on the sales floor as a sales pro, or you're a store manager, or you own a mattress store or a furniture store, or you work on the other side, you're a sales rep, a VP of sales, or you own a manufacturer, everyone's welcome. This is a great community. It is the best networking you'll ever do in your entire life. Scott Vaughn, I am so freaking pumped right now, too. I can't stand it. Andy, thank you. I can't wait either. Here I am. We're in the middle of this. Jacksonville Bedden, what were you going to say to me, Chris? Remember to say RJ. RJ, this is going to be a great episode. Thank you. And if that was you, Tara, I apologize. Getting back to Mattress Industry Network Group, join this group. Hit that QR code that my fabulous producer is going to put up there. Join us and be in this group and participate. You don't have to be in this business all alone by yourself. And last but not least, and now I'm really throwing a curveball at my producer, join us for the masterclass in Paducah, Kentucky. Scott Vaughn and Scott Bidwell are going to do their magic again, June 8th, June 9th, and June 10th. And Greg, welcome to the show.
Up on a little light reading here.
Greg Law is the owner of Sweet Dreams Furniture and Mattress. And Jimmy, that's you.
Yeah.
Hurtado, senior team leader and sales associate. Rylee Allen, who was the very first person who beat me into the green room. She does a lot of things. Not only is she a store manager, she's the head of trainer, and that she's the interior design team lead. and she's the most organized, and I can see that she kind of keeps everybody in line. Last but not least, Matman, also known as Andy. Andy is a store manager. He's a sleep superhero, and he is the director of fun at Sweet Dreams. Welcome, everybody.
Thanks for having us, Pete.
Afternoon.
It's my pleasure. I'm glad we finally got that camera working, Jimmy.
Yeah, me too. It was strange. I had everything all ready and set last night. I like to prepare and be ready, so that was a little frustrated. But thank you for your patience, and thank you for having me on your show. It's truly an honor to be here with a legend in the industry. I appreciate you.
Well, I know you're here with Greg. I don't know who else you're talking to. But it's not me. So
About Pete.
Go ahead, Greg.
He was definitely talking about you, Pete.
Well, thank you, Jimmy. I'm humbled, and I don't actually deserve that, but thank you for your overly gracious words. I appreciate it. At the last master class, it was in Cincinnati, Ohio, but it was really in Kentucky. It was at the Cincinnati airport, which everyone knows is in Kentucky. I got to see Greg and Matman in action, and I have to tell you something. I've never been impressed with two people more than them. Their heart for the business, their business savvy, their hunger to incorporate new ideas, and what they brought to the roundtables. I kind of snuck around a little bit and overheard a few things at roundtables, and my mind was literally blown at what givers you guys are. So everybody wants to know how to create a dream team. It's not easy. It's super hard. It requires consistent effort, clearly defined roles, and if it was easy, everyone could do it. And very, very few stores are able to create a dream team. So what is your secret, Greg?
Well, thanks for the compliment for the master class, and we gotta give Scott Vaughn all the credit for setting up a great roundtable discussion to begin with, and kind of stoking the fire so we could get the ideas flowing together. One thing that really stood out to me in that workshop was our level of success is most highly determined by the top 5 people that we keep around us every day and the books that we read. So when you asked me what we wanted to talk about, I always want to talk about the dream team. It hit me like a ton of bricks a long time ago that we spend every day with our work team. It's like our work family. So we want our success. We want to be able to level up together at all times. And so we put in a lot of work learning from great mentors like yourself and Chris Kuester, Mike Whitaker with Nationwide Marketing Group. They all taught us how to set up building and creating your own dream team the right way. So that's when you ask me what we want to talk about, that's our favorite subject. And it's also what keeps us entertained and having fun and really finding this line of work very rewarding.
I've often said that a salesperson that just heard a joke from the owner is going to approach the next customer in a different way than a salesperson that just got scolded by the owner. And there are a lot between those two extremes. There are a lot of little nuances in managing a great team. Tim Clanky says, Cincinnati, go Reds. Who day? What's that got to do with anything? You and Greg got something going here I don't understand.
Hey, we just learned about Who Day in Cincinnati.
Oh, Lord have mercy. So how did your dream team start to come together, Greg? Like, who here was the very first member of the dream team?
That's fun to talk about because we're coming up on 19 years for Jimmy and Andy both. And Riley's been with us almost 6 years now. Is that right, Rylee? 6 years?
A little over 6 years.
A little over 6 years,
Yeah.
yes. So we started with the dream team of 4. My wife, Katie, and my parents, Jim and Sharon, and I started Sweet Dreams with a vision and a dream in 2002, almost 23 years ago. I managed a mattress store while I was in college, and I always loved service and hospitality. I was also in the restaurant business and always loved how people would come into our store expecting a low standard of service and then just always blowing them away with a elevated level of service, because I love treating people right and getting them to come back and bring all their friends and family, just like in the restaurant business. And I was a bartender, and I love taking that service and hospitality and putting it into this business. So we started in 2002, and then we joined Nationwide Marketing Group in 2014. And then that's when we learned exponentially so much more of how to do things right and to really start investing and building our team the right way, as opposed to everything just getting funneled through Katie and I.
Greg, help me out. There is a book that was written by a gentleman in the restaurant business. I know that I believe you recommended that to Scott. Scott recommended it to me. Is it Unreasonable Hospitality?
Yep. Yeah, it sure is. That's a fantastic book.
That's a book for every retailer, every store owner that's watching this. Great book. And when you're talking about your experience in the restaurant business, that just reminded me of it. So, Matt Man, here's a question for you. How easy or how hard is it
to work
Pete? for Greg Law?
Oh man. So when you walk into a showroom and you know Greg is supposed to be there, I like to strike what I call the dragon pose. Like you have to be ready to go, because there's a corner he's sitting behind, or somewhere he's like, going to jump out and pop out. But once you get past that phase and you actually find where he is, he's very pleasant to work for. But I'm grateful for a Greg Law in my life, because he's always pushed us. He's never been satisfied with just doing okay. He really wants to get to whatever the next level is every day. So that's where we've had a lot of fun over the years, trying to figure that out and starting from the beginning, really.
That's awesome. Jimmy, right back at you. 19 years is a long time, man. Tell me about that.
Oh my God. Yeah. It went so quick when you're having fun. It's truly a blessing to serve alongside Greg and Katie. They're like my family, and the whole Sweet Dreams entire team. I'm just grateful to go to work every day and, just to be part of something bigger than just a business. It's very meaningful. And going back to Madman's comment about Greg, yeah, if Greg is around, I like to be ready on that push-up post, because we got to get him ready.
You're firing me up right now, Jimmy.
Let's go.
I saw that pose at the masterclass, at the end of masterclass. We have a great picture with Scott Vaughn and Matt Man and Greg doing that. So you just said a mouthful, Jimmy, and I don't want to let that slip by anybody. If you are a store owner and your employee who's been with you, who they don't call employees, by the way, they call team members, Greg and Katie are like my family. So here's the question, Mr. and Mrs. Store Owner. Are your employees saying that about you? Don't be throwing eggs at me. It's a tough question. It's a question that you should be able to answer yes. And while we always strive to do everything right, sometimes we get there and sometimes we don't. Chris Dehaney has a comment, though, and I would never not read one of Chris's comments. Some corporations pay someone a full-time position to do what this incredible team just does naturally, maintain a culture. Ooh, that's huge. If there's a business out there in our industry that's better at it, I want to see it. So far, no evidence. Hail the Sweet Dreams team. Love these guys and girls. Wow. You
Love you,
know,
Chris.
that is a great compliment to Greg, but it's an especially great comment to everyone that's on the team, because when Greg isn't around, you guys are leading and you guys are making it happen, and you are fighting every minute to have the culture that you want for your store, and you guys are the leaders for the newbies that come into the organization. So my hat is off to you guys. And Chris, thank you for that comment. That's a very nice comment. I know Greg wants to talk.
Yeah, I'd love to comment on that. And as much of a compliment as that is to all of us, it's not that it comes naturally. It takes a lot. It's never set it and forget it. One of the best things that we ever did was with our recruiting and our interview process. We always called it the Thanksgiving dinner test, and we don't hire anyone unless we all agree that they'd be the type of person that we'd want to invite over for Thanksgiving dinner. And Chris mentioned of like a full-time position. We do have an ace in the hole, and my sister Catherine, who is our HR director, we always talk about, in the absence of communication, negativity can creep in. So she has been masterful at helping us stay on a communication process that is well thought out. We stick to a schedule, because at any given time, human nature, if you're left out on an island, if you feel all alone, if you don't feel supported or listened to, that negativity can creep in. So we always talk about kind of Ron Propeel with the rotisserie chicken oven. Like, it's never set it and forget it. You know, when it comes to human nature, we got to stay engaged. We got to stay fired up, and we got to keep on that process. And all of her hard work has really allowed us to be able to connect and energize each other. So, but thank you for that compliment, Chris.
It's a great compliment. I would say that Happy Z's is right there. And one of the coolest things I've ever seen is the relationship between Greg and Scott. You guys have been symbiotic partners since the day you guys met. You guys feed off of each other. You guys are better now than you were before, and you guys were exceptional before. But this friendship that you guys have is really special.
For me, it was love at first sight, really.
Yeah, you're basically the same guys, you know, little tweaks and differences, but like same heart and the same hunger.
Same hairline.
So this question is not for Greg. This question is for Mattman, Jimmy, and Rylee. How many of you, by a show of hands, feel like you have input and say so at the direction that Sweet Dreams Furniture and Mattress goes in? Yeah. So here's another tough question, store owners out there. Don't hate the messenger. It's a tough question. If your people, without you around, were asked that question, do they feel like they have a voice in what we're creating in the store? Are they going to say yes, or are they going to say no? Scott Vaughn says, is it raining in here, or is it just me? Scott. Patrick Tinney, greetings from Bancroft, Canada. Thank you, Pat, for being here. Pat is the author of 4 great sales books, and he does live in Canada. And he is a master at negotiations in addition to sales training. So, Patrick, thank you for being here. And I hope Sales Gorilla is doing well for you, my friend. He's created this website with like over 900 videos on sales and negotiations. Just insane. Just absolutely crazy. This is what he's doing in his second career. He retired like 10, 20 years ago. This is this is what he's doing for fun. So, Greg, we're creating this dream team. You have a vision for it. Were there any assumptions when you first started, like when you started with this nucleus of you, Katie, your wife, and your mom and your dad, and then you started to add people? What assumptions did you have about creating a dream team were correct, and which ones were incorrect that you had to adjust?
What a great question. We actually talk about this all the time. So one of the biggest mistakes that we made in our first 10 years in our business was assuming that everybody on our team knew what our values were. We didn't really, we always hired and discussed at all times, like service above self and really going above and beyond for the customer. But later on, we learned that unless you really define what your values are, you're just open for everybody on your team making up their own values based on their own perception. So that was part of why we felt bottlenecked on everything, every decision that had to be made, everything, every project we were trying to do, all had to go through Katie and me. And we felt overwhelmed and, a little discouraged on like, how do we get to the next level? And we set out to really kind of open that up where we had a team full of leaders operating on a high level, getting things done together, moving in the same direction. So defining what those values are. So we always really focus on those 3 V's: vision, values, and vulnerability. So we defined what our values are and our vision. So our values are an acronym: dreams, dedicated to God and the greater good, responsibility, energy, effort, and excellence, all about the team, measured growth and partnerships, and service above self. And that's not just a sign on the wall. That's on everything that we do, our marketing, our website. When we put out a job listing during the interview process, we share that with people before they ever join the team. And we say, how do you align with us? And I learned from my good buddy, Chris Keister, your values become your value. And so we do a lot of training, a lot of discussions with our team, like how do we do things better? And how are you going to answer the question, why should I choose you over any of the 1,000 of other stores that I could go to? And I always want them to start with our values. Our values truly make us unique. It's why we select every person that works here, every product that we carry. And when we explain that properly to customers, that's who we want to attract as a customer, is customers that value our values and know that we're here to serve them and make a real positive difference in lives.
Wow. That is so good. And you asked my next few questions. But I want to unpack it slightly because you said it so fast, it's going to get by somebody that might really need it. So your values is not something that is tucked away somewhere in a corner or in a company handbook. It's something that you guys are out there with on everything. It's on your website. It's something that everybody sees it every day. Everybody lives it every day. And when you're hiring, and this was my specific question, do you ask that question in your hiring? Like, here's my values. Here's our store's values. And do these line up with your values?
Right. It needs to be a mutual best fit. So
yeah,
we've literally had some people that didn't align well with that. And we want to know that up front. There's probably been many that have read it on our careers page on our website or in the job listings that we put out there. So we want to be able to weed that out for their own good and for our own good. We want to be surrounded with driven people with a heart to serve. And that's exactly how we've created our dream team. And I'm sure, the listeners can really resonate with that. If you're shoulder to shoulder with somebody, we want to be able to uplift the people that we're working side by side with every day and enjoy our work together. So that's a big That's the key element of that is really recruiting on, and then on everybody's first day, my sister and I take them to breakfast, and we learn more about them first. We want to know really what drives them, what their interests are, what they love, so that we can tailor their position with our company so that we're not just selling stuff. We want to be able to give them the opportunity to align with their passionate work. We call it the kingdom work. That it's the kind of work that you never want to retire from. So we're doing our day to day. We're trying to get to the next level constantly. That's part of our vision. Is we want to be an organization of continual healthy growth and improvement. So we want each individual on our team. We want to be keenly aware with what drives them as a person, what they love, what they're passionate about. And I want to be able to stop talking here soon so you can hear some of what Rylee, Jimmy, and Andy, what drives them, because we like to intertwine that with their day-to-day work so that they're getting like some real meaningful, like, this is what I'm all about kind of work. So we do make people memorize the core values, was part of my point. So we take them to breakfast, we teach them the company history, and then we do put them on the spot. They have to recite the core values in front of everybody. We give them a Chick-fil-A gift card or $20 bill when they get it right.
That's
but
awesome.
everybody memorizes it, and it's just what we do.
I love that. I love that so much because the mission statement is in the back room where everybody has lunch at Happy Z's, and I love it. Every time I read that, my heart is full. So really quickly, I just want to grab a couple of those comments and read them for those who are going to be joining us on audio. David Grange, love this and revel it. High intrinsic value. If you get up to work every day, it's a job. If you love to get up every day for work, it's a career. Also, if it was easy, everyone would do it. Yeah, that's the truth. And Blake Iyer, I love you, Blake. You are an awesome young man. Great stuff for us right here. Enjoyed getting to meet Greg and Andy, learning a lot from this team. Thanks, Pete, and sweet dreams. No, thank you, Jordan Vaughn. Talk about rarefied air. I love Jordan too. Man, Greg Law is my hero. He's my hero too. I'll tell you what, I was never, Greg's kind of quiet, like I met him a couple times at market. He doesn't really say much. Nice, but man, to watch his brain work in those master classes, it was like an honor. It really was. He is my hero too, as well, Jordan. So let's get to our team. Did you tell me that Jimmy has a great story that you'd like him to tell our audience?
Yes, absolutely. And it,
Jimmy,
it goes,
the story?
It goes right along with that kingdom work that I was talking about. So, Jimmy, take it away.
Jimmy, you're up.
We have a great leader, as you all witnessed. When people ask me this question, like how long you've been with a company, and I love when people ask me that question, because it gives me the opportunity to explain to everybody, like, it's just not just a business. It's more meaningful to be part of, like I said, just a business. I love how Greg and Katie keep investing in the dream team. During my 19 years, I have witnessed a lot of transformation from different team members, and I experienced by myself. Back in 2019 or 2018, Greg and I took a business trip to a leadership summit event in Atlanta. This is when I was managing the warehouse. I was a manager of around 50 dream teams by then. We went to Atlanta, and while we were learning and getting a bunch of capacitations, we got to pack meals for No Child Hungry. Not sure if you're familiar with them. So during this meal packing event, I'm originally from Ecuador, South America. And while we were packing this, flashbacks came to my memory, ignite my heart. And I remember my childhood, growing up in this poverty in my neighborhood. And I asked Greg, would you be okay? Are you willing to support me, not just to transform our community and help our community, but just go internationally? And if you all know Greg, you're just speaking his language, because at Sweet Dreams, it's not just about selling a mattress or a product. It's about serving others. And when I get to answer the question why I have been with Sweet Dreams for 19 years, my family values align with Sweet Dreams values, which is help others. I mean, work hard, play hard, but also most importantly, serve others. So when I proposed to Greg if he can help me with providing meals to my people from my country, he was all in. I started a nonprofit organization, and 2 months later, we went to Ecuador with my wife, my kids, and we served thousands of families with first necessity kits. After that, we went every December, every year, with a bigger purpose to continue serving families, kids, and just living our values, which is to continue serving and helping others. So when I said that Greg and Katie has been like my family, they truly seen my kids growing up. A couple of weeks ago during Easter, I was at his house and I saw his kids when all taller than me. So, you know, when they ask me this question, I'm like, I'll be more happy to explain you why I have been with Sweet Dreams for 19 years. Ever since then, my nonprofit organization, Returning Smiles, have helped thousands of people, not just on our area, our community, but in my home country, which is Ecuador. This December, we are going to Hawaii to serve more people. I have a son who is listed in the Navy, and he's partnering with his church. So we have big plans coming up, and as always, Sweet Dreams, it's a big part of making dreams come true.
Jimmy, I'm doing the best I can not to just sit here and bawl like a little baby. I love that story. And
Thank you.
Love your guys' hearts. Greg, you're gonna have to run the rest of the show because I need a tissue.
You know, we couldn't be any more proud or impressed with Jimmy, and you know, same goes for Rylee and Matt Man and everybody on our team. But you know, Scott Vaughn and I like to listen. Well, so does Jimmy and Matt Man. We love to listen to a guy named Ed Milet. If you haven't checked out Ed Milet's podcast, it's fantastic. He's got a book called The Power of One More. But he always talks about so many people make the mistake of thinking, I'll be happy when I get to this level, or when I make this much money, or we accomplish this. And I love to just see Jimmy and everybody on our team just intertwining. Like, okay, he mentioned that we work hard, play hard, serve others, and grow. That's our recipe for enjoying the ride. So if we get into where we feel like it's a grind, we're going to call it timeout, and we're going to throw a party, or we're going to get the dream team together and have some fun. And then most importantly, we want to make sure we schedule that time to serve, give people the opportunity to serve something greater than ourselves. And then we got to sharpen the saw. We got to get after it. We got to learn how to get to the next level. And that's why we love listening to the Primeau show.
Yes.
Well, I'm not going to thank you for that, but I have to bring something up. Well, I'm going to do John first because absolutely love John. John, absolutely love the energy and culture Greg and Katie are fostering. It's contagious, and the higher end philosophy. Would you invite them to Thanksgiving dinner? That says it all. That is the most succinct and easiest way to communicate a rather complex idea. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, John. Scott Vaughn, you're so inspiring, Jimmy. Love you, brother. Yeah.
Love you,
Nothing not
Scott.
to love about Jimmy.
Thank you,
And
guys. It's
Greg.
an honor.
Yeah, Pete, on that Thanksgiving dinner test, like it's so evident every time we get the team together. So I learned, a few years ago now, it kind of hit me where every time we get a group training where everybody gets together, a group gathering, I just mainly need to get out of the way so that everybody can enjoy each other's, like they feed off each other's energy. It's just like a family getting together for Thanksgiving dinner. Like you see how much everybody is just enjoying working together, and that is very fun to see. So yeah, thanks for pointing that out on the comment. I do want to, part of that too is just the diversity we have on our team too. So we learned years ago that our furniture sells so much better when the dudes get out of the way and let the ladies, we always say women be shopping. And so that's why we wised up and we let Rylee and Katie run the show on the interior design team. And man, we saw our furniture just take off when we stopped lining furniture up bumper to bumper and just like letting the guys decorate. Rylee was like, no, this is how we do it. So I wanted to be able to tee it up and like hear a little bit from Rylee on like kind of her secrets to success on the design side too.
Rylee, it's all you.
Hello. Yeah, so I started on the team when I was only 17 years old, and I came into this, this career that I was it just almost just fell so graciously into my lap, and what a blessing it came to be. So as far as the furniture and design, I got to really flourish with something that I didn't even know I was interested in until I started working here. When I was in high school, I was like, I never said I'm going to be an interior designer. Like that was never something that really came top of mind to me. I came from a family of trade, so I was all ready to go to esthetician school, and working at Sweet Dreams, I was able to flourish in a career that I didn't even knew I wanted to begin with. So Katie and I have had such a fun time, working side by side together for 6 years, just really honing in on our showrooms and how to make them look beautiful, and to walk into the showroom and say, I could see this in my home. This feels like my home. Our goal is to set up, vignettes, to set up these displays very uniquely and differently for each collection. So we go to all the markets and we stay on top of all the trends and all the colors and social media and what everyone's doing. And we just try to make our showroom for our customers. What's even better is I get to come into work every day and it feels like my second home. I don't have to come into a place with, in a cubicle, or I just get to come into this beautiful showroom that has great lighting and smells good and looks beautiful. And that's what our customers are experiencing every single time they step foot into our stores. And that is our goal. That's how we want everyone to feel. And I want to feel that way, and I do feel that way every day. And so I'm just blessed to be able to share that with my customers and my coworkers.
Rylee, thank you for sharing that with us. I have a question though for you. You're the director of training, and I just got a comment from Mattman about why do they call you Tom Brady? I think I know, but I want to know from your own words why
Yes.
they call you Tom Brady, the Tom Brady of beds.
Yes. Andy and I have worked together for a long time. He actually was my original manager. So when I first started, I started with Andy, and he trained me, and he managed the store that I now manage. And I learned so much from him, and he kind of started calling me that when I first started. I don't know exactly when it started. But what I believe it to be is because my number, I might look like I'm kind of looking low in my numbers, and then all of a sudden I just bring in a big one. And I don't know, maybe he could explain it better. He has a good explanation for it, but he did create that nickname for me. I'm down for the nickname.
It's right in the vein of everything we're talking about here, because we've always looked for people who do it better than we do it ourselves. And I have competed against Rylee for years now, and she kicks my butt. But sometimes, like, it looks like I'm winning, and it really looks like I'm going to get there. And then right in the fourth quarter or the final hour, all of the habits that she does, all of the things she's doing, that momentum just comes right over the finish line. I'm like, she won again. What the? So, it's that's why I call her the Tom Brady of beds, because she's just really good at what she does, and she's not sprinting. She's running a marathon. She's really good at that.
That is a wonderful name, and I'm not a Pats fan, and I'm not a Pats hater either. I'm very neutral about it. But the one thing about Tom Brady is he won so many games so late in the game, and you look at everything that he did to win. One of the original players to have a nutrition coach, had a throwing coach in addition to a quarterback coach. And then he had a strength and conditioning coach. That's in addition to the coaches that he had with his football team. That's what he paid people to teach him, those things, to bring his skill levels to the highest place they could be. And one of the interesting things about Tom Brady is no one expected him to become what he became when they first saw him in college. He became something very special through an act of will, through really great habits repeated over time. So I got a sneaking suspicion, Andy, that you're down with Rylee's good habits as well.
Oh, that's one of my better that's one of my better pun and name monikers. So it's Rylee Allen, the Tom Brady of beds.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And Rylee, I can see that you are very organized. I can see that you are the leader in a lot of ways. But what I loved that Katie was like a mama bear, helping you get ready and helping everybody else get ready. By the way, thank you, Katie. We gotta put this show together without you.
She is
Rylee,
our whiz kid.
Yeah, tell them about the whiz kid story.
Oh, okay. So Katie has the nickname Whiz Kid, and you can always count on Katie to fix pretty much anything, but specifically like the techie stuff that a lot of us are not good at. And just, she just knows things. But we run into computer problems here in the store, like everyone does every single day. So she's Whiz Kid, and her greatest strength is just unplugging something and plugging it back in. That is the key to the Whiz Kid. So we had this customer who is very close with us, great return customer of ours. And we have our pictures hung up in the store here. And underneath our picture, there's a plaque, and it typically says your name. Well, Katie's just says Katie Law, Whiz Kid. And a customer saw that, and he said, "Oh my gosh, Whiz Kid, that's a funny name. Why do they call her that?" And I was just, I was like, well, it's not because she's like super, super like smart or anything. It's just because she's like really good at fixing stuff. And he loved that. Like, he thought it was so funny that I was like, well, it's not because she's like super smart. She's like really good at fixing stuff. So I ended up, he came up with the nickname for her, Whiz Kid of moderate intelligence. And since then, it's our thing. I've made her a cup for Christmas, and it says Whiz Kid parentheses of moderate intelligence. So yeah, we love our Whiz Kid.
A side note, she's the one who helped me with my camera.
She is.
Yeah.
In mine.
She just
She's
helps
a
saver.
everybody.
I watched her help everybody today. Either I watched her, saw her on the camera, or heard her voice. And I am like, Katie, you're such a mama bear. I love this. So
She's the backbone.
Matt, man, I'm dying to ask this question. I know it's off topic. So Greg, I apologize. I have to know, how did you become a sleep superhero? Like, how did it happen?
That's right on topic right there.
Oh man. Well, we like doing community events, and a long time ago, we would sponsor 5Ks and set up a tent, and everybody would come nowhere near it because nobody wanted people selling stuff after you run a 5K. But we always sponsor the Turkey Trot in Mooresville with the Christian Mission. So one year we had these like suits that were like the ones you're used to seeing. If you've ever seen a picture of a man wearing a mattress, they're like just for like a high school fundraiser or something. And so we put one of those on and ran. And I was on record running that in an hour and 5 minutes the previous 5-6 years we'd done it. And the year I put the mattress on it, it kind of slowed me down, and I did it in 44 minutes. I was like, wow, that was great. And I just was being funny and said Matt Man, and suddenly I realized, the power of sleep, you could actually do a lot of great things. But it was a coming of story. It was just like, Greg had written a bunch of awesome marketing things from a book he'd read. And so, like starting to dive into things that Sean Stevenson was teaching about sleep and how to do it. I started making game plans, and next thing you know, man, 2 years ago, I ran a 5K in 25 minutes. So I shaved 40 minutes off of my time, but it wasn't just because I was practicing a lot. It's because I was sleeping really good. And I had that mental energy to go practice and be active. So that's the story. But man, I've got a lot of the OG content creators here too. Everyone that's on this call is part of this, especially Rylee. Rylee was encouraging me at the time. She took my first video. She's like, give me tips on what's funny.
I'm honored to be the very first person to ever film a Matt Man skit or video for our social media. It was amazing. We still have the original video. I mean, we've come so far. Like, the suit has come so far, but also just our skills in general of like content creation and everything has come so far. So really, really happy to be a part of that process.
That's awesome. I am so glad I asked that question.
Hey, Pete, can I piggyback on that real quick?
Yeah, jump right in.
Yeah, we just hired Scott Vaughn to come down and give his masterclass to our whole team, and he brought Jordan and Jacob with him, and that whole team just knocked it out of the park. But we talked a lot about, they stressed to us like, don't be average. And when it comes to sharing the message that we want to convey in our business and in this whole industry about better sleep drives performance, helps you achieve your dreams. If we're just saying that in an average way, nobody wants to listen to that, but there's nothing average about a sleep superhero. And he has been for 10 years out in this community running 5Ks. We host Chamber of Commerce events. We host like mixer parties at our stores. And he's got this credo that we always call it the game plan of better sleep. And so he's our ambassador for the game plan for better sleep. But it is so much fun seeing a crowd of people look at him with amazement and disbelief as he says his credo. I wanted to see if there's a way we could get him to do that here.
Let's go, man. Do your thing.
Oh, I'm sitting down, so
stand up.
I can't, but this is a favorite chair. It's my favorite chair.
Okay.
Look, my name is Matt Man, Sir Capes a lot. I'm the Bruce Wayne of beds, and I fight the things that keep you up at night. By the power of the pillow, the might of the mattress, and the surety of our sheets, we've got your game plan for better sleep so you can fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and get the good night's rest you deserve. Sleep like a superhero so you can be awake like one and see what you are capable of.
Let's go.
So picture a room full of Chamber of Commerce business people, not expecting that at all, and it's entertainment for us. It's entertainment for the whole community. So, man, I salute you.
Ask not what better sleep can do for you, Greg, but what can you do for better sleep?
That is so good. And so you stole my thunder again, Mr. Greg. I wanted to applaud you for bringing Scott Vaughn and his team down there for 3 days. And it was so funny because I called Jacob because I heard the other side. Jacob was so motivated. He's like, open up that door. I need to sell a mattress.
Yeah, we had never met Jacob before. He walks into the room and we're all doing calisthenics, like jumping jacks, get right into an icebreaker. We're not low energy around here. We don't allow our team to be low energy. So they fit right in and they fired us up.
That's awesome. So guys, I usually give the last 10 minutes to my guests, and we don't have 10 minutes left, but we can run just a little bit over if we have to. Greg or Rylee or Jimmy or Mattman, was there a question that I didn't ask you guys that I should have, that you think would bring value to our listening audience?
I've got something, unless you guys, Rylee, it looked like you were about to say something.
Well, I was just about to say, kind of with the Scott Vaughn and the training that we just implemented with our team, I think the biggest benefit that we have had in our company in the last couple of years is training. So I'm honored to be the sales trainer. Any new person who starts working with us, they kind of come after they do their greeting and their first steps with Greg and Catherine and Katie, then they come to my doorstep and I train them for several weeks. And not only, have I been blessed to have that training from Scott, I think almost twice now, which isn't enough, but always need more. So what we've done so well and what we will continue to do is just constant training with all of our team members. And that has really benefited myself and my own sales, with just constantly retraining myself on things and learning new things and how to better serve our customers in our community. So just wanted to kind of say that Sweet Dreams does very well as their training.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Mattman, you
provide
had
that train, just to piggyback on Rylee, training, not a lot of stores close their business to invest in their people. So when Scott Vaughn came, we closed all of our locations. And Greg and Katie, thank you again. All these years, they just keep investing on the team. And as a result of that, you see everybody, when Greg is not around, we all represent the company because we love them so much, how much they invest in us. So yes, Rylee, thank you for that reminder. Training, the time to help others. Nobody at Sweet Dreams is allowed to say that is not my job. If you need to wear a different hat, everybody gets the pleasure to wear it, and you better do it based on our core values.
In our business and in our industry, we're on a mission to eliminate this from our business in this industry. And that's where the retail sales associate can just feel left out and feel stuck between four walls, bored to tears, and they lose their drive and their vision. We want to go the opposite way with it. One of my favorite things I ever learned from Mark Kinsley is like, it's not good enough just to say we're local or a family-owned business. We got to prove it. And for me, that starts with everybody on our team. I got to prove it to them that I have their best interest at heart. I've got their back. I want them to not only give our customers an exceptional experience, but everybody that works around them and how they can uplift their coworkers and themselves so that we can all get to the next level together.
That is incredibly huge when everybody's lifting everybody else up. And let's be really honest. Sometimes retail customers aren't nice. Sometimes they've had bad experiences at other stores and they drag that into your store, and it's not easy day in and day out. And when you have teammates that help lift you up, that's incredibly helpful to everybody in the organization. And most of all, it's helpful to that customer that had some bad experiences at other stores. Now they have a good experience with you, and you guys can end their misery of shopping at second-rate stores, right?
That's right.
And get them happily involved in your sleep solution so that they can wake up as happy and pain-free as humanly possible. So, guys, I have to say thank you. This has been an honor to get to know you guys, and let's keep the conversation going. We could go for another 2 or 3 hours so easy. I mean, we were just skimming on some of these, but thank you, Rylee. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, Mattman, aka Andy, and thank you, Greg. Thank you for making this happen, because
Thank you, Pete.
this was special. You guys are special. This is special. And keep doing what you're doing. You guys are a very bright light in our industry. Thank you.
Happy to be a part of it.
Thank you, Pete. Thank you for allowing us to share some of our stories, personal stories, and about our culture. Thank you for keep transforming many lives through this. So I appreciate you.
Thank you. Have fun and sell a million, everybody. Thanks.